Hello and welcome to this Corona Extra review on this alternate channel, Anti-War. Corona Extra, 4.6% alcohol for the United States market. It's 4.5 in Europe. 139 calories, introduced in 1925. This is brewed in Nava, Mexico by Constellation Brands USA market. It's in Mexico City for the rest of the world. It's a complicated story, but Anheuser-Busch InBev bought Corona. Grupo Modelo bought them out completely, I think around 2013, 14, 15, I can't remember. But they had a partial ownership. So when they did the complete buyout, there was an antitrust problem with the U.S. government, and they let them continue to own it. But for the U.S. market, it had to come under control of Constellation Brands, who make products like High West whiskey and some other things, many other things, wine. They sold their lower end wines, pretty much their whole wine portfolio, off to E&J Gallo this year, 2019, and now they want to focus on cannabis products. I think they're going to probably destroy their company with that. It's not going to be as big as they think. But Corona means crown, so crown beer. La cerveza más fina, the better, the more finer beer, basically. Cerveceria Modelo Mexico, Anheuser-Busch InBev. All right, it's a painted on label. You can see the appearance, not much head of foam, golden. They say on their website, our cervezas, Corona Extra show lime in the can and in the bottle, with a refreshing, smooth taste balanced between heavier European imports and lighter domestic beer. Corona is an even-keeled cerveza with fruity honey aromas. Fruity honey aromas. Okay, let's see about that. No, it just smells like grain to me, like cereal grains, but fruity honey? I don't know. I'm not a beer expert. Those guys at their breweries probably know more. The flavor is crisp, clean, and well-balanced between hops and malt. I'll go along with that now. A superior taste profile from superior ingredients. Maybe that's hype. Water, these are the ingredients. Water, barley malt, non-malted cereals, in other words, Mexican corn of some sort, grits, meal, powder, syrup, cornstarch, I don't know, a corn product, and hops. They also make Corona Light, which is 4%. Corona Premier, which is their ultra light, like a Michelob Ultra version. Also 4%, but with only 90 calories. Corona Light has 99 calories. And then Corona Familiar, which used to just be Corona in the quart bottle, a brown quart bottle. Corona Extra. Then it was revitalized as a different recipe, 4.8%. So it's their strong Corona, 4.8, 157 calories, same ingredients, and then they have the Refrescas, the flavored malt beverages, 4.5% alcohol, passion fruit lime, guava lime, and coconut lime. I liked all three, especially the coconut. And you can get Coronas in all kind of configurations, 22-ounce bottles, quart bottles, for the Familiar, at least. Frequently asked questions. What are the main ingredients? Well, I just read to you. How many IBUs? 18. I think it's 19 for Familiar. So we're talking about some hoppiness, like a Pilsner, like about 18, but a Pilsner might be 33. So not quite, that's why I said mid-range. It's not as bland in hop bitterness as American beers, but it's not as sharp and bitter as like a Pilsner or Urquell or Golden Pheasant or something like that. Or Kronenbourg, which I like that more. I like the more bitter ones anyway. It is light in the mouth, low medium. Has some body, crisp, clean finish, easy going. Be great with steak fajitas, you know, something like that. I never did get the thing about people talking about Corona Extra is garbage. It's horrible. I hate it. I'd rather drink horse urine. Oh yeah. It's the worst thing. It's always skunk. Well, this one wasn't skunk. It's this, it's that. And I'm thinking, are we drinking the same beer? Because I always liked Corona back in the 90s before I found out I wasn't supposed to like it. So like around 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, I just thought it was a good beer. And so when people would drink beer, they would get Corona, pay more for it, and they'd be like, oh yeah, Corona, you know, yeah, man. But when I started reading all these beer review websites, read what people were saying about it, that's when I was like, what? And people were saying, it's garbage, filth, the horror, the horror. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this approach. So now I started checking on other beers. I said, let me just check some standard beers. Same thing with Budweiser. 1 out of 100. It's a 0 out of 100. It's the worst thing ever. Natural ice is the worst thing ever. And I was like, these beer reviewers come from a different world than I come from. I mean, I always did drink craft beer. People will say to me, you have to slowly bring yourself to the craft beer level. But that wasn't the case for me because I was drinking Turbo Dog, Rick and Jack, Scotch Ale, and etc. All kind of stuff back in 96. And then I was drinking Corona Extra, Red Wolf from Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, not really Bud Light, but Budweiser, you know, Miller High Life. So I never could understand that split. I didn't even know there was a split at first. And then I started doing the beer reviews on the main channel, and then I started occasionally getting hostile stuff. Oh, dude, you need to step off because, like, I'll make a comment on somebody else's video. Oh, that's a really good ale, that Two-Hearted Ale from Bell's. Oh, dude, you need to step off because you think PBR is amazing. I never said PBR was amazing. I just ignored that comment. Nowhere did I ever say in any video, this beer is amazing. Sorry, never said it. I said stuff like, I liked it. It was enjoyable. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'd drink it again. I've bought it many times. But I never said it was amazing. And I was going to do a Hong Kong live stream talking about the Hong Kong situation on the main channel Sunday. We had a little time, not a lot, but I was going to fit that in and then go watch some NFL highlights, which aren't very good on ESPN anymore. They used to give a summary on ESPN.com of here's what happened. Now they just show a raw highlight, usually with some music in the background if they don't have the rights to the broadcast audio, or they'll just have the actual audio from the radio announcers. I mean, their highlights were always fast, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Like, this happened, and this guy got a handoff, and he made a lot of yards, blah, blah, blah. Like, you couldn't even process it so fast. But now it's just raw. But it's all right. You can kind of get an idea what happened in the game just by looking at that. And ESPN Sports Center, I was watching that the other night when I couldn't sleep, and I was like, they ought to call it Commercial Center, because all they show is commercials, like, and the commercials will go on and on, like 7, 8 commercials, and then the highlight, and then more. And I was like, I'll just try to go back to sleep because it's too much. And I keep up with it anyway. I mean, I kind of know what's going on. I know who's good, 49ers, although they're going to lose Sunday probably. Maybe the Ravens will win the whole Super Bowl. We were talking about, I was going to make a video about Hong Kong. Oh yeah, what would I rate this beer? It's enjoyable. It's not fabulous. It's not like the greatest thing. And they don't claim to be the greatest thing. It's just exactly what the company describes. A refreshing, mild, middle-of-the-road beer. That's what they're saying. No, I mean, I wouldn't pay for it. I mean, it's $28.49 for a 24-pack. $28.49 for a 24-pack. A bottle. I mean, I wouldn't pay that because I can, bottles or cans, I guess. I wouldn't pay that because I can get, well, That might have changed. I think the sale is over. But I can still go to Rouse's and get natural ice. Natural ice. For $7.99 a 15 pack. All right. So why would I pay? All right. Okay. So that's $15.98 a 30 pack for natural ice, which is arguably better than Budweiser and Corona Extra. I would literally choose natural ice over those two. So it's just how you balance it. I mean, I ran into flack over that. Like, oh, natural ice. It's terrible. It's not terrible. But anyway, I don't care. I'm not going to argue about it. I don't get mad about it. I've never gotten mad about beer ever once in my whole life. Ever. That doesn't happen here. It may happen with you. I mean, I got mad when I dropped my bottle of Bourbon County Stout onto the concrete and it smashed because my hands were really dry and like the skin was real tight because it was cold and snowing outside. So I said, I'm going to sit by the snow because it rarely snows in Louisiana once every 15 years. It was a pretty heavy snowfall. And I'll review it. People will see the snow. And I cracked the top and I went to pour it and it slipped. Bam! It hit the pavement. It must have shattered in 100 pieces. I said, well, damnation. You can see that video on the main channel still posted. Couldn't get over that. I said, well, there's $10.99 plus tax down the drain. Now they want $12.99 for it. Not gonna do it. I'm not paying $12.99 for that beer. I've had it before many times now. I like it. It's very good. 15.2% alcohol. I would recommend it. You're only getting 500 milliliters as opposed to 355 for something like this. But I mean, you could do a lot of things with $11, $10.99 plus tax. And I've tasted it. I've tasted it. I've tasted it. Okay, I know what it tastes like. And I see people do these videos now, the 2019, and they talk about, well, it's slightly more syrupy than 2018. It's got a little bit more bitterness. And it's like, I'm thinking, to me, it tastes almost identical. And it's a good identical. I'm not ripping on it. It's very good, enjoyable. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's arguably 100 out of 100. It's not that high, but it's close. It's almost world class. But I don't think I'm going to pay $11 or $12 for just a repeat. And then these other ones they got, now they got so many different variants. I'm sure they're all good. I'm not opposed to them. All these different variants. But one store had them for $39.99. I think that's a misprice. They said that the distributor gave them bad info. Charged them wrong. They're supposed to correct it. I ain't paying that kind of money for that. I'm going to drink it one time and it's gone. I could go buy a bottle of Pinch Scotch, blended Scotch Pinch, a classic brand for $36.99 and drink on it for 2 years. I don't think I'm crazy. I'm not buying that. And talking about Hong Kong, if I was going to do the main video, I was just going to say, you know, the United States Congress, Democrat, House, Republican Senate, Republican president signed it. Okay, so some of y'all are all party people. I love my party, the Democrats. I love my party, the Republicans. Okay, well, they both got together and they passed a law that said if China does such and such with Hong Kong, the U.S. is going to do all these things. Okay, I don't support that. I'm sorry. All right, I voted for Trump in 2016. I do not support that law. I wish he would have vetoed it. This is the United States interfering in the internal affairs of China. Hong Kong is part of China. I know it's a special region just due to the British treaty with China in 1990. Well, it was fulfilled in 97. Because Great Britain, remember, owned the United Kingdom, I should say, of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom owned Hong Kong from 1840 to 1997. They attacked China, and one of the provisions of the peace agreement was to get Hong Kong Island at first, just Hong Kong itself. And then in 1899, the new territories. I read an article that was saying the British had it since 99. No, they didn't have Hong Kong since 99. They had it since 1840. 99 was the new territories, which at one time was just all woods. In a few little villages, it was very rural, but now it's all almost like the whole thing is a city. Just expanded, like the whole territory is like one big city. Kowloon, Victoria, the capital, and everything. Victoria is the capital of Hong Kong, named after Queen Victoria, who was the queen who approved the war on China, the Opium War of all things. They declared war on China so they could sell opium. See, that sounds like a drug cartel. Well, yeah, that's what it was. And so then they had the second Opium War later on in the 1850s with the Empire of France and Great Britain attacking China. Imperial France. That was when they had Napoleon III. The empire. It was literally the Empire of France, the Second Empire. So here's these democracy protests, so-called, that started breaking out in the spring of 2019. And they were saying, we want democracy and all of this, and you can't pass a law extraditing us for criminal trial into mainland China or whatever. And my impression was this could be bad because, like a lot of these uprisings in China, there's a group of factions that don't agree too well with each other. And you never know what they're really getting at. They'll use catchphrases and key terms like democracy, freedom, liberty. That's to appeal to the American audience. But oftentimes it doesn't really indicate what they want to really do, you see. And my impression as it went on, June, July, August, September, October, November, was that, and as these people who, I now predicted this, became more and more violent and hooligans. They were hooligans, hooliganism, attacking people, like a 70-year-old man getting killed, setting somebody on fire because he dared to disagree with their democratic ideology, ransacking a college campus, smashing windows at the airport, different stores. Well, that's not democracy protests. That's hooligans. They were probably more communist than the communist rulers of China. Real troublemakers, you know, trash. And then you started seeing the protesters fighting with each other because they didn't agree and downgrading each other. And similar to the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976 in Zhongguo, China, when you started having these Red Guard factions fighting with each other more than the class enemies because they have some slight disagreement on protocol and ideology. And then they had some strange incidences of American consulate officials meeting with the protesters, which made people suspicious. Is the United States secretly financing the protesters as an attack on China? The Chinese picked up on that, and they thought that it was. So communist China says, why are you interfering in our internal affairs? And I don't agree with communists, of course. I'm virulently and notoriously anti-communist. I've lost friends on Facebook because of that. And I don't care, because if you're going to unfriend me because I'm anti-communist, go ahead. Why are you still, you know, what made you wait? I don't want to be around you anyway, more than likely. I mean, I don't mind. I'll stay your friend, but you're not going to like what I'm going to say. But you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying the United States should not be interfering in the internal affairs of China, all right? Or Russia, or any other country on the planet, I might add. So I'm calling Trump out. I think he's wrong. I think the House of Representatives is wrong, and I think the Senate is wrong. It's not just Trump, it's all of them, Democrats and Republicans. They're all wrong. Do I oppose democracy? Well, that depends on the word you use, because some people in their mind, when they say democracy, they really mean socialism, communism. Remember, communists like to use that term, democracy. Even in Germany, from 1933 to 1945, under the National Socialist government, they claimed that they were a democratic government in the sense that they were largely supported by the vast majority of the people. And in fact, they were from 33 to 45, even into the last year of the war. They had very strong support from the people. So you could say that that government was that democratic government. You say, yeah, but they did terrible things. Right. Democratic governments do terrible things. France in the French Revolution, the reign of terror under Robespierre. Most French people probably supported his insanity, mass murder, and all of this. That doesn't make it right, but it was democratic. Okay. Most Americans supported putting Japanese Americans in concentration camps from 1942 to 45. You say, well, that's not right. Yeah, but it was supported by the majority of the people. And what is democracy? When the majority of the people support something. So, you know, you have to question those concepts. You know, you have to be careful about that. It goes back to the Bible, right? Like, we will decide what is right and wrong. Remember, the Bible alludes to that. The people decided what was right in their own mind. There's only one little problem. What they decided was evil. You say, yeah, but it was democratic, and that's what counts. No, it isn't what counts. Okay, so no, I don't support interference in Chinese internal affairs, and I wouldn't like China interfering in our internal affairs. I don't see that they do. Russia, they don't really. I mean, the United States has determined that we will dictate what kind of lifestyle Russia has. That was very bad under Obama and Clinton and Bush, really, and even Trump. So you say, well, they interfere in our elections. If a person's attacking you, you might fight back, right? Let's just say somebody's out to get you. Well, let's think about that. If somebody's out to get you, would it necessarily be a bad, would it necessarily be a bad thing that you chose to fight back? I'm saying no, not really, because there was a great opportunity for the United States and Russia to become partners in 1992. United States and the Russian Confederation. I didn't say allies. I said partners for peace and order and good in the world. And Russia was apparently, now I know they had a leader who was bad alcoholic and they had a lot of internal problems. We understand it took them about 10 years to get straight after their revolution, their counter-revolution. And then Putin, the strong leader, came in. But no, that's not the way the United States under Bush, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, and Trump ran it. They ran it as, okay, you're down and we're going to kick you while you're down. And this is a problem. And Pat Buchanan, I read an article today posted by Pat Buchanan, and he was saying, here we are pumping these people up. Go out there and protest, rah, 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 shish, shish, boom, bah. But if the Chinese come and bring the hammer down on these hooligans, are we going to really have their back? Remember, the United States was pumping up the Hungarians in 1956. Shish, boom, bah, hurrah, hurrah. You stand up to those Soviets, those evil Soviets. And then when the Soviet tanks came in, what did the United States do to help them? Nothing. Oh, well, that's a shame. That's too bad. See, they're thinking the great arsenal of democracy's got their back. You think the United States is going to go to World War III over some Pop Chiki protesters in Hong Kong? You know the answer to that question before I asked it. Think about 1939, the British telling Poland, you stand up to those Germans, Poland. We got your back. We got your back. And so they stand up to Germany and they get attacked. And what did the British do when Poland gets attacked? How many British planes showed up over Poland to help them resist the German and Soviet invasion? Because remember, the Soviets invaded on September 17th. Oh, yeah, nobody shows up. Where were the British troops landing on the beach in Northwest Germany? Oh, yeah. And the French troops. Oh, yeah. Nobody showed up. Which is comical because basically the entire German Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines was engaged in the battle against Poland, which was a tough battle, in a way. Poland had no chance, but it was involved. It was an involved thing that went on for weeks. And even the German commanders after the war admitted they had no defense in the West. They had the Siegfried Line, but it wasn't really manned. And they had Northwest Germany along the North Sea, which was almost virtually open. They just figured the British aren't going to do nothing and the French ain't going to do nothing. They just banked on their inaction. And it worked. But had Great Britain and France simply started landing troops on northwestern Germany's beach, like a D-Day, they couldn't have stopped them. People don't think about that. And there was like nothing between there and Berlin. Nothing. Germany would have had to give up. They would have lost. Remember, in 1939, France alone had a bigger army than Germany. So we got France and Great Britain and Canada and Australia and New Zealand and South Africa declaring war on Germany, and they sit around and do nothing. They could have invaded. They couldn't stop them. They could have bombed Germany. They could have bombed all their industrial facilities in 1939 and they would have lost. They'd have had to give up. But they're standing around. So that's, you have to be very careful when you think somebody's got your back. And the United States has shown throughout history that they don't really have your back. 1989 Tiananmen Square, they didn't do anything. The people got crushed by the tanks. They said, oh, well, yeah, it's a shame. Oh, well, anyway, moving forward. And if these hooligans keep trying to bait the Chinese Communist Red Army to attack them, they might get their wish. But see, they're thinking that, oh, it's going to be the great America coming in. They're not going to come save you, man. They're not going to come save you. It ain't going to happen. And I don't defend that. You know, you want to smash windows and beat people up and be a hooligan. It wouldn't make any difference to me if the Red Army came in and busted your chops because you want to be bad. I don't care. I'm not involved in China's internal affairs, okay? So you can learn from history. You know, people always like to say this on Facebook. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. Well, apparently people don't learn from history, especially that outfit in D.C., you know, on the Potomac River, you know, that outfit over there. It's not that they don't learn from history. Really, it's they don't care about history. They know history. These people went to school. They're educated. They just don't care. They're like Nikki in Casino. Remember what Ace said? But Nikki didn't care. He just didn't care. And that's what you're dealing with. Now, I care about this beer because it's good and I'm enjoying it. It's a nice flavor. It's balanced. It's well made. It's well crafted. It's well done. I just cannot, for the life of me, understand the hatred towards it. I just don't. Now, am I in adoration of it? Do I go run out and buy it? Heck no. Was $8.99 too high for a 6-pack? You know it was. Would I buy it again? Oh, yeah, I'll probably buy it twice more in the next 10 years. That's not saying much, but it's fine. I mean, there's no problem with it. Anyway, that's enough of that. I think you get my point, okay? On that side issue, Hong Kong, don't believe all the lies. Believe the truth. I'm here to give you the truth. I mean, I'm serious. I'm not like a prophet or a herald. I'm not like the Silver Surfer. I'm not a herald. But I mean, I know what I'm talking about with this because I've studied it and I know what I'm talking about. And you can learn from history. And I do care about history. I said the U.S. doesn't care about history. So you just keep repeating it. It's not a matter of learning about it. They just don't learning from it. They don't care about it. I do care about it, and you can learn. I'm here to provide the lessons. Here you go. There's a lesson. Would I bring this to the main channel? I certainly would, and I was gonna. But remember, I said StreamYard failed because I had some people that were going to join that discussion. But even StreamYard admitted they had a system failure. They corrected it. Couldn't control that. Oh, well. Thanks for watching this video production, and y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.